Hello, everyone. Uh, it's Jason from Country Home Healthcare. Um, we're getting a lot of questions from prospective customers, and which is great. And understandable. This is quite a new service that people haven't seen of before. But most everybody has the same two questions. So today I'm going to do a short video to answer those two questions, and the answer to those two questions are interrelated. That's why I'm answering them both at the same time. So the main two questions we're getting are how can it be free and why is it only in rural areas and small town communities? So the reason behind both, the answer behind both those questions are the same. So we'll go over that together. So why in small towns? So the reason why we focus on small towns is because there's a great desire for this service in small towns in that these are service-based uh, vendors. So in order to get the service out there, they have to drive out there, and the round trip can be an hour and a half, 2 hours just to provide a half an hour service. So they either aren't willing to do that or the customers aren't willing to pay 3 hour service for a half an hour service in their home. So that's why we focus on the country and the small towns because there's a great demand for this out there. The number two reason why we focus on small towns is by virtue of them being a small town. If we can sign up 15, 20, 30 customers in that town, they are close to each other because it's a small town. There'll be less traffic, and that increases the capacity at the service provider. So somebody that goes out to do PSW work or nursing work or dog grooming work in people's homes, they drive into the small town, and then the customers are between 1 and 5 minutes between customers. So that increases the ability of the service provider to provide service to more customers in a day, more money for them, and at a cheaper service. And that's why we focus on small towns. Um, Also, the reason why we stay away from the larger towns is that, uh, and this will be answered more in answering the second question, is that there's no benefit to the vendors if we go collect customers for them in a large town because with this thinking, they're probably not going to be right beside each other, so we can't provide the efficiency savings to the vendors, and therefore we can't reasonably expect them to pay us any money. So that's why we focus in the small towns. Now, to answer why it's free to the people that sign up. Now, it's free because once we've collected the group of customers together, as I just discussed, it's more efficient to provide the service for the vendors. So not only are creating a way for them to provide the service far more efficiently than probably their regular market, um, but that's an incredible savings to them. The number two reason it's free to our customers because the vendors are receiving 20, 30, 40 customers. Sometimes we have vendors that can do several small towns in an area, so they're hiring 3 or 4 people to provide our service, and this was at no risk to them. So that's uh, that's why we get paid by our vendors because we've just brought them free revenue. And then the last reason is that the vendors that we find the right vendor that understands this relationship, they realize that they're getting a savings, they realize that they're generating revenue that they wouldn't have, and then they share the savings that Country Home Healthcare has provided between our customers and Country Home Healthcare. We just get a very small percentage, and that's regardless of the savings provided to our customers. If we have vendors like the restaurants, we tend not to go to the home meal delivery and ask for any money. We just help them set up the service to make sure that our customers have that service because that's a service that they need to stay at home. So that's hopefully answers why it's free, so people can believe it's not too good to be true, and why we focus on small towns. Eventually, we will be looking at targeting sort of apartment buildings later, but we're comfortable providing the service out in small towns, and we actually find that the vendors in the small communities are very easy to deal with. So um, if you're interested in this service, as I said, it's free, so go to countryhomehealth.ca and sign up. Hopefully we'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.